Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Doug again here with a video to help with Roll20. Once more, I had a video that I put out about 9 months ago that answered some questions for people starting to use Roll20 and help with building their One Ring game. And after I put that together, I got a series of questions after that in the replies that I failed to see and took forever to find, and needless to say, getting to those now 9 months later. So some of this information might be useless to some of those individuals that had asked me for it. Maybe it will be useful to them. I don't know. We'll see. Primarily it was about macros and building macros and dice sets. Now, just as a point of order, everybody that uses the One Ring sheet template in Roll20 will already have access to a roller via the sheet. It's built into the API there with the game sheets. So as an example here, if I bring up this character, you will see that they already have the capability of rolling, whether it's, say, an awe roll. You click on that, bonus dice, no, submit. And there it is, awe roll. Character was successful with a great success because we see a 6 in the success dice there, so we got a great success. Needed a 13 target number, rolled a 18. So anyway, the dice are there. The dice are also there as a aid on the character sheet. Here you can customize what you want, so you can make a brawl roll, whisper it if need be, normal, favored, ill-favored, or none. Success target, so the number of success dice you want. Wait a second. Yeah, success dice. How many success dice? What's your target number? Parsed roll. Click the button here. So if my target number is, say, 16, and I only got 3 success die, click roll, and again, it rolls here. I rolled an 11, rolled 3 success dice. My D12 was normal, rolled an 11, failure. So there are dice functions in the character sheet. So when you set up your game and you choose the One Ring character sheet as your character sheet, it has that dice function in it. But people were asking me how to make macros and how to have other stuff in case you don't want to use a sheet, if you just want to do a standard roll. So I write macros here, as you can see. I've got them set up for Lore Master. I also have them set up in my collection as player macros. But it's real simple. This is a Lore Master normal roll. This is a Lore Master favored roll, Lore Master ill-favored roll, Lore Master weary, Lore Master favored weary, Lore Master ill-favored weary, and a hate roll. So if I need to do a quick roll, I can. Let's just, as an example, go Lore Master favored. It comes up with a screen. Let's say I'm making a long bow attack, and my target number is 415, let's say. And how many d6 I want? I want 3, and boom. So there it goes. So it populates over here in my screen with an ill-favored roll, or no, I did. Yeah, longbow target number favored. So it rolled the defeat die twice and gave me 3 success dice for a 12, target number 15. It's a failure, but it doesn't give you the same information as the API scripting does with the character sheets. But it's a quick roll method, and so anyway, people ask me how to set that up. I'm going to show you how to set those up real quick. And then someone asked me about overlaying the journey map, and I'll do that for you guys, or show you how I did that real quick. But we'll start here. We click on collection. Now, as the lore master or GM in any table, you'll have this button. Other people will have this button, but they will only have what they see based on whether or not the GM or lore master shares those things. You will want to create rollable tables first, and I have two sets here. I got a set for my 1e game, and then I've got the set that I use for this game. You want to name them specifically: feat, LM-feat, normal, weary. Don't worry about the first edition stuff. Lore master normal and lore master weary, and that way you have the varieties you need. So when you look at this this table, basically you're going to name it up here, very simple, and then you're going to put the dice icons that you want, and if you have them, cool. You might have to create them. I created these, created them in Microsoft Paint. Really, it's pretty simple. Just if anybody wants to know how to do it, it's real easy. You open up Microsoft Paint. There's this great way to make a feat die icon. Boom. And so I went like that and filled it with a neutral color that the dice are. Let's see that. Okay. Fill. And then using, I think Anaron is the font. Where is it at? Anaron here. So, and then 100 bold, and this color 1. So this is what I did. I literally went through. Needs to be bigger. Let's make it 200, and it's going to be too big. Let's take the bold out. Let's make it 150. So there, and that's what I did. I went through and created every. Now that's not straight, but I was pretty diligent about making sure my dice looked good, and I matched the color of what they were in. And then, so I made my template, and then I went through and I renumbered, and I made every die, and then I made it transparent, and so on and so on. So that's how you can do this stuff. You can make them yourself, or you can go out to the internet and find them. But anyway, I got one. You're going to make all your dice, and each dice is going to have its name, which is relative only to what shows on the screen, and then its weighted value in the image, of course. Each weighted option is 1. Every dice has a value of 1, name specific, but value of 1. The only ones that don't, I believe, are, no, everyone has a value of 1. The I is the only die that has a name of 0, though, because that is its true value there. The weight means it will be included in the roll, in the odds, but the actual name is the value of the dice. So Gandalf and 10 are always 10, but the I is 0. So you build your feat die like this. So you look at this and it says feat, but then if you look at my lore master feat, which is right here, they're the black dice. My normal dice, these are normal success dice, and weary success dice. As you can see, 1, 2, and 3 have a weight of 0, a name of 0, because they have no, even though they're weighted and included in the roll, they are not any value. They come up as 0. So you're going to make that for feat, lore master feat, normal and weary on success dice. Then you're going to make lore master normal and lore master weary. So black and black. Again, just to point out, each dice will have the name of its value, but always weighted 1. If a die is weighted 3, that means in a series of 6 dice, this particular dice would have 3 chances out of all other dice to be rolled in terms of the weighted value. So again, you're going to make a feat and a lore master feat, a normal and a weary. You're going to make a lore master normal and a lore master weary. Again, forget these first edition ones. Then once you build these rollable tables and you put your icons in them, you can then make your macros. So I'm going to show you the lore master. Oh, let's just show you the player heroes roll, which is normal. Player hero normal. I use N for normal. So I make it PHN for normal. When the players see it and they add it to their bar, they'll see these titles. You can, in Roll20, you can rename these, and I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. But in this macro, it starts with this first line, which is nothing more than basically the fluff of the die roll, and it'll return this kind of information: who rolled it, and this little asterisk star thing, what the skill roll that was rolled, what the target number was, and the fact that it was favored, right? So in this example, or this macro here, you should be able to see it. If you need to, zoom in, but it's switch and then me. It's the roller is always me. This is an icon that's just one of the ones you can insert, and then you type this out, question mark, and then the skill name, enter. This is a straight, this icon in between name and enter is the vertical line that's just above the enter key. Those are in brackets. They are, yeah, they're in brackets. Well, you should be able to see it. Anyway, and then target number, blah, blah, blah. And then the next line is the actual dice that it's rolling, and it's going to the feat die, okay, which is down here. This is what we created called feat. So it's going to roll one time on the feat plus whatever number of d6 that we added, and it's going to default to 0 of normal. So there's the normal die, which is the normal dice, that normal success dice. So it'll roll one feat die, normal success die. So you create that macro, you want to make it available to all players, and then you can save it. Then when you see it in your collections, player hero normal, I should say, you can click in bar and it'll put down here for you or for the players. If the players want these in bar, they have to go to their collections and put them in bar, but they'll only see the macros that you've written for them available to them. So I'm just going to go with another example here, favored. So we're going to look at the lore master side. And this, of course, will go to the lore master table, but again, LM for lore master, PH for player hero is what, and then the -F means favored. Again, me at the skill name that you're going to enter, target number that you're going to enter, and then I have it here in parentheses that it says lore master favored, which is basically letting anybody seeing the roll result know that it was a favored roll. Again, the next line is for the actual roll, and it's going to roll, switch R means to roll, and it's going to do 2 times on the lore master feat die. So if we go down here, we're going to see it's drawing on this rollable table, lore master feat. And it's going to keep the highest. The K1 tells it to keep the highest. All the information on how to set up a macro is available if you do a Google search on Roll20 macros. You can see what codes need to be in place for it to keep the highest one or to keep the lowest one. But so it's going to roll 2 times on the lore master feat table and keep the highest one, plus however many number of success dice I want, defaulting to 0, which is changeable, and then it'll go to the Lore Master normal. So it will roll Lore Master normal because this is a favored roll, non-weary. It's just a Lore Master favored roll. Again, I don't make these available to players because these are Lore Master dice. Player Hero dice I make available to players, Lore Master dice I don't. So again, when I do Lore Master favored, it's going to come up with this macro because that's what we filled in, just so you guys can see Lore Master favored. So how it interacts here. So when you click the button down here, it's going to come up with this dialog box, which is basically answering skill name, and of course it says enter because I've got this set up in the brackets here with a question mark that tells Roll20 that this is a dialogue entry. So let's say an awe roll, and then I submit, and it immediately goes to what target number is it, and again it's telling you to enter a target number, 14, and submit. Now it's going to come all the way down because this rest of this data in the macro is irrelevant. This part of the roll is automatic, but down here again it comes to data that's entered. Anything in a question mark brackets is telling it this is a fillable or data entry section of the macro. So the question mark tells Roll20 it's data that is necessary from the player. The number of D6 is the dialogue that shows up. The switch or the vertical line separates what value is going to default into there, hence the 0, right? And then it's got a T there in between because this is going to be the number of dice or the number of times on the Lore Master normal table, which is down here, normal success die. So if I put in a 3, it's first of all, it's answered all questions for the macro. What's the skill? What's the target number? How many success die? So I can close this for the moment. Hit submit, and again we see favored roll, kept the better of the two, and I got an extraordinary success, 24, right? Against the target number, all roll target number 14. Excuse me. So that's how the macros work. Just as an example on how to show ill-favored, let me show you this. So where before it was K1 to keep the lowest instead of the highest, it's KL1, if you see here in our formula. So when I do a Lore Master ill-favored, again, 14.3, submit. And actually, either way, the 10 or the Gandalf are still, they're both, for the Lore Master, the Gandalf, I guess, would be the lower return because it's the worst die. Anyway, Gandalfs mean nothing to in my game, Gandalfs mean nothing to the enemy, whereas eyes are a terrible result for the heroes, but a Gandalf is a great result for the heroes. Inverse of that for the monsters. Gandalf is a terrible result, and eye is a great result. Again, another extraordinary success against target number 14. Even though I got 0 value here for my dice. So anyway, that's macros. Again, you can find help for macros by Googling Roll20 macros, and that'll give you a whole Wikipedia page of how to write the code, what if you got exploding dice or whatever your goal is. There's data in there on how to write that and get those answers. Just remember, you got to set up your rollable tables before you can make any macros for dice rolling, though. Without the tables, it has nothing to grab the information for the dice rolls. So anyway, then once they're in the bar down here, you can right click them, or no, there, no, cancel, hold on a second, rename it. and click rename. So if you don't want it to say Lore Master Normal, you could rename it to Lore Master, just whatever, normal instead of Lore Master M, and then it would say that. Okay, you can make them say whatever you want here, but the macros themselves, I generally make them based on whether they're for the player or whether for the GM, and I keep them in an alphanumeric order so they propagate that way in the system here, or in the list. But once down here, like I said, you can rename them as you please, and I'm going to put this one back to Lore Master hyphen or dash in and leave it as such. All right, the other options here in macros, I put these together. I don't think these need, they're not in bar, but what you'll see, let's go to a war board here. I think I've got some battles under archived, but here, hold on a second. Wilderland. Nope. Eriador. Bree. Yeah, let's go here. All right, we got enemies, and we got, let's say this basilisk is still alive. So we'll take the X off of him. So the heroes, let's say Roki the dwarf wants to attack the basilisk. I have created macros. Again, you can use the macro for the sheet itself has functioning dice rollers for the character. Roki is a retired character, so let's use one that is not. Let's use Orlamar. He comes up, Orlamar here. So bottom line, you can roll his sword attack here, boom, right? No problem. But I've also created these things where if Orlamar wishes to attack the basilisk, on the character sheet are a series of lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? We have 6 player hero weapon attacks. So I've made these macros so that, one, they don't show in bar, but they are a token action. Check the box on token action, which means it'll appear at the top here. So you have adversary attacks, and then you have player hero attacks. So let's say Orlamar wants to attack the basilisk with his sword. So we know on his character sheet that the second line item is his sword, right? So sword. So we're going to go here to the results, and we're going to click player hero attack 2. And now it says choose target. We're going to click the basilisk. Are there any bonus dice? Did he use a hope or some other? Let's just say no. And boom, it rolls for Orlamar and gives us whatever his result here is of 11 against his target number of 16. So to create those, you will see that I did, here's player hero attack 2. It's very simple. You put this, name it, okay? And it's at selected weapon to target action. You can screenshot that, type it into yours for your player hero attacks. For the enemy, it's adversary. So let's say the basilisk wants to attack Orlamar, and they're going to use attack number 1 at that. Click, no bonus dice, and you'll see the basilisk now just scored a piercing blow against Orlamar on a target number 19 attack. It puts his armor in there, and it fills all the information on the basilisk's primary attack. Boom. Okay. Quick actions. You can work those off of the tokens instead of having to go to your character sheet. So again, I have them set up. You can't make it where clicking on a token that Roll20 recognizes this as an adversary, so it'll only show the adversary attacks. I don't, if there's a way to do that, I have no idea. So what'll happen is you'll see all of the token actions appear across the top there. And that's okay because I know this is an adversary. He has 3 options of attack on the character sheet, and I know how I got it set up. I'm going to use 1, 2, or 3 for the adversary and pick my target. When it's player hero, I know it's 1, 2, 3 through 6 because they have 6 weapon slots. But the player should know how many weapon slots they have filled. Finally, if they have to make a protection roll because he just got a piercing blow on him, he rolls. The injury rating is 14. It is a fillable box, so maybe it was 18. But we know it's 14 because we can see this in the dialogue here. Injury rating for the piercing blow. Submit, no bonus dice, and Orlamar got a extraordinary success to block that potential wound from the basilisk. And so that's how those dice action macros work. Again, going back to how do you write those macros, just down here to protection, at selected protection action. And one question might be, well, how do you know that is that box for protection on the character sheet? Truthfully, I don't remember how I knew that. I think I had to go into the character sheet and look at properties. So a protection roll here. Did I mouse over? I don't. I got to remember how I figured that out. But I think I looked at the coding of the character sheet or something like that. But to make your life easier, you don't have to do that stuff. You can just look at my screen here and know that adversary attacks are this at bracket selected line adversary underscore weapon 1 underscore target underscore action close bracket. The next one is the same thing except weapon 2 and weapon 3, right? Same for player hero attack. Weapon underscore 1 underscore target action. Player hero 2. Or player attack 2, attack 3. So the only thing changing in them is the numeric value of the hero attack. And finally, protection is this. Just zoom in on it, copy it verbatim at bracket selected separator, vertical separator, protection underscore action, close bracket. And those will work. Again, you don't put them in bar, but you do put them for those that you want to work with a token as a token action. You want to make sure all players can see them. All right, so they can turn those. I don't know if they can turn them on or off, but if you make them a token action, I don't think they can turn them on or off. And that's how that stuff works. I also have normal dice in here of D4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. I don't think those don't work on anything but just a normal D10. So if we want to test this macro, how many? I want 3 D10. Submit, 0 modifier, and it just rolls 3 D10. Right? That's just simple, basic macros. They're not in bar. I don't use them, but I did create them for if ever I need them in this game to roll just a standard dice. So that's macros. That's how you make them. That's how you name them. That's how you use them if you want them to be token action type macros, so that players can get a quick result by just using their token. It's a cool little function in Roll20. So hopefully that helped for macros. If you have questions, feel free to ding me on YouTube here where this video is posted. I'll try not to wait so long to get back to see any replies to help with. The other question on roll on YouTube, my YouTube last YouTube video was how to set up um, journal log or journal page, or have a page for journeys. Right now, I used to have this journey page that looked like the sheet that you can get out of the book, but I found that how much we used it more so just coming to this page and resolving it. Because truthfully, what I usually do now is I have my players just draw their path here on the primary map. So I'll say, where are you guys going? And I'll literally have one of them freehand a line. So we're going to go from Weathertop over to here in that path. And then I'll look at the GM map from my end, actual, just a regular picture on the screen of it, and determine how many hexes and what the length of the journey is going to be, right? So for the most part, I don't even use the journal map anymore that was in the book, that players might draw out. But still, some of you like the idea of it, and I used to use it, and I will show you how I did it real quick. So first thing you do is you go here and you're going to create a page, and the page is not going to have a grid on it. Save settings and close. Okay. The size of the page is relative to the journey map or the journey sheet that you want to use. If you make it really big, you can have it really big. I'm going to just make it, let's make it 22 by 15 for now. Just so we can see a little easier our sheet here. Okay. Let's see, make it a little shorter so it's not off the screen there. Let's make it 20 by 15. Okay, so now we're working with a sheet that's relatively easy in size. The first thing I would do is I would take my art here and go to my library of maps for TOR, and I'm going to get the primary map of Eriador, which is here it is. Now you could use the GM Lore Master map of it, which already comes with the hexes. Might be easier, but of course it shows the peril regions in there. If you don't mind the players seeing the peril regions, go for it. So it would look like this, but know that you're not going to care necessarily how much of the map goes off the side, because all you want is for the players to see the section of the world that you want. So you'd place that on the map, and then you would go and get the journey log sheet, and that will go over it. So the first one, I'm going to right click it and I'm going to send it to the map layer. That way it's behind everything. We're still on the token layer, so I'm going to put this up here in the corner. I'm going to drag this down. I created this image by making the out of the PDF of my the One Ring book. I copied this, and then I printed it or exported it as a picture, and then I clipped this section out here where the map would go, made it clear, as you can see there, and or transparent. So now when I overlay it, it just has the map and has all the company information here, right? So then I send this to the map layer. So now none of it can be moved, all right? And the cool thing is, let's grab a character here. Hold on. Let's go to our primary screen here. Let's grab Aridel. We're going to copy her. We're going to bring her to our new journey map. We're going to place her on the map. Doesn't matter really where. Maybe you want to show where she started at. Maybe she's starting here at Londaire, right? The key thing is, my purpose of this is to, because you see all this overlap and overhang, we see that as a GM or a lore master. But when you look through the eyes of your character, I just did a Control L, which gives me the character's view. The player doesn't see all that overlap. So the cool thing is, as their journey moves, they make their journey north or whatever, you can, as GM then, so we escape the journey, we escape the view there, you can go to the maps page, click on the main map, bring to front, move her down, let's move the map, and then send to back, boom. Now you have more map to work with. Return to the token layer, and here she is now north of Tharbad after leaving Tharbad, or after leaving Londaire and journeying those many hexes. Your players, when a player has, what I'll do then too is I will, when I set this up, I will also use drawing function, and I will do a red fill box. No, it's brighter. Which red is it? Maybe it's, there it is. So I'll do that, all right? And I will create boxes that fit here. And I would make them smaller, of course. So let's say there's one here, and I'll make a series of them for the whole line of travel fatigue. And when we start this, we're going to go, okay, this character's name is Aridel. And move this to here. Then I'm going to go, her role is a scout. Alright, click, so that's her role, that's the character, and then you populate this with all the characters in the party. If there's ponies, your players should have access to some of these tools over here where they should be able to write in these boxes. But you know, how much you want to use this is up to you, and how much you want to make it filled is up to you. 2956, third age, whatever, right? So you can click that and put that there, and you can autumn from Londaire, Tharbad, days travel 10, 12, boom. And then of course you can get neaten these things up. So you can set that up as GM. What I do with these things, generally I make them and then I send them to the GM layer. So the player, again, Control L, she doesn't see this stuff on the GM layer, right? You can see it, we can see it because this is, we are GM, but an actual player wouldn't see these red marks on the GM layer. So if she does make a roll and she does gain fatigue, I would just go to the GM layer and I'd go change layer to tokens. And That way, the player now sees that she has 1 point of fatigue, travel fatigue. Anyway, that's how I create a journey sheet. That's how I make it real simple. If you don't want to use the Lore Master map, you can actually use the primary the map here, which is this one. And again, the only thing about this one is you're going to have to lay a grid over it. And I do that sometimes. And the grid is somewhere in my mix here, but I don't know where it's at off the top of my head. So anyway, you just have to size the map to the grid you're using and basically compare the two. So when you're looking at your Lore Master map, how many hexes is between Bree and Weathertop, hypothetically. You're going to have to count that and then size the grid accordingly so that this gridless map, when it's underneath there, it's going to be the right size with the grid and then, of course, with the overlay. And it's just more of work. It's more work for you, but you can't do it. You just have to play around and tinker more with the send to back, send to front kind of functions to make sure that excuse me, the grid works for the size and that the right pieces are on top so that you see this overlay over top the gridded map. Really simple. So, and that's it. That's how I create my journey page for the players to be interactive with, and they can draw their map here. I'm going to go from Tharbad up. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Get rid of that. Click on the freehand. Small. Going to leave Tharbad and take the Greenway. Again, let's undo that because I got this function on that I don't want. Let's turn this invisible. There we go. I'm going to leave Tharbad, take the Greenway up to Faro Downs. So, again, you count the hexes, so that's how many days you know there's travel based on the terrain, and because going through woods or through rocky terrain and stuff makes the travel slower, but you can figure out how many hexes, and then when they make their first journey roll, if it's 3 hexes from the start, 1, 2, 3, that's where their first encounter is, right? Whatever. That's how the game functions, but this is how to make the map and overlay for players to use, okay? Again, hope that was helpful. Hope that all that made sense. If you have any questions on that one, feel free to contact me, and I will try and get some answers there to you as well. Then there is this mat, and this one's very simple. This is just a mat that I lay and set it on the map layer, and my players are able to move their tokens to what position they're serving in, and in the journey, and then they have all the instructions here so they can kind of map it at their end on their map they might have at home, or if I have a visual map for them, like I said, I draw it out for them, and then we use this map with the instructions. The last question I had from somebody on the D20 or on the YouTube for this was, where did the map come from for Eriador? This was part of the PDF that we get when we bought the game. When you buy it as a PDF, and I was a Kickstarter. I don't know if it was just with the Kickstarter, but it looks originally comes with all of the words or letters for area door on the map. I'll show you real quick here. This is what it looks like originally. Let me find it in my books. Lord of the Rings, second edition, maps, the Shire. So this is what it looks like normally, and it's got these ERI, area door across the map, and it looks great. Don't get me wrong, I love the artwork, but when I'm wanting to run my game, I want it to look without those letters, so I edited it. I took the letters out, and now it just gives the map. We know it's area door. We know all this country is area door. The stuff in between, like Cardinal, Rudauer, and Arthedain, that's fine. I want that. But the big block letters of the name of the region, I didn't care for, so I removed it. That's what it looked like. But this came with the PDF downloads and all that stuff. I don't think it was part of the Kickstarter. I think it comes with any digital purchase of the One Ring, second edition. I know that you also get the map of the Shire, and when I bought Moria, I got the Moria map, right? And with the purchase of the second edition, I got the Lore Master version of the same map. So that's this one, and of course the player's versions. So here's the player's version of the map of Eriador, and of course it doesn't come with those big block letters, never did, which makes that one nice. So anyway, that's, to answer that question, that's where this map came from. I added all of these numeric locations. Those aren't part of the actual map. Those are set on there, and then I drop them to the map layer above the picture, and then I have those locations linked to my characters' lore, location, and geography, so they can go, what's number 13, and they can click here between 11 and 12, or 11 and 20, I should say, and they find that number 13 is Barad Eldinar. And I put the information of that location that they've learned there. Okay, so if it doesn't have a dot, it means that the players haven't seen it yet or don't know about it, so it's unrevealed, and I will add them as they find these locations and interact with those places. So, but I talked about that in the first video. I'm not going to go into any more great detail on that. But that's the question again comes down to where did the map come from? That's where the map came from. And as I said, I edited it just to remove the block letters to make it look a little bit easier to see what's going on. I added these little dots and stuff for the paths and stuff into the North Downs and everything. So anyway, I'll leave this video at that. We're at almost 50 minutes on this video, and I don't think it needs to be longer than it is in this. So hopefully this helps. Sorry for the delay. If you have any other questions, feel free to shoot them to me, and I'll help with whatever I can that I know. Thank you very much.